Hey guys, it's Trent. I wanted to show you really quick this neat little idea I had to turn this into this, which is the screen used prop. You can see that there's, as everybody knows, there's some Gaffers tape that was used to wrap around the neck to hold the emitter in place. Because, as everyone knows, the emitter spun. It had a motor in it from when Alec Guinness used it in A New Hope, and they used some tape to secure the emitter, probably just to keep it from spinning and making extra noise while on set. When Brandon got a hold of it, it still has the Gaffers tape on it. Over the years, it has since come loose. He's left it intact, which I think is awesome. But it's still loose and the emitter still spins around the tape. So it gives it a very distinct look in that because the tape is loose, it has a wider looking neck than it actually is. The actual neck is quite thin, but with the Gaffers tape loosely wrapped around it, it makes it look thicker. So just for that extra level of detail, if you were wanting to simulate that, you could just wrap some Gaffers tape around there. Several people do that. But if you wanted it to have the appearance of being loosely wrapped without actually having it loose and risk falling off or anything like that, but also you'll notice that there's an impression of the groove here. I came up with a neat little idea in the form of a little adapter that I've 3D modeled and printed out that fits down over this, that has the groove, it has the curve of the tail end, it has a raised tail that you can apply this adapter to and wrap tape around it to simulate this and give it an actually a sturdy, it's got something behind it to hold the tape still. The tape is stuck on, so it's actually a rigid form, but it looks just like this. So I'm going to be putting these on my Etsy store here shortly. So I thought maybe I would do a quick video tutorial on what you're going to get if you wanted to get one of these and how to build it. So real quick. In your kit, you'll get basically two pieces, this form and a piece of tape. I've already pre-measured this tape. What I'll do is probably just stick a piece of 2-inch Gaffers tape on there. This is the correct Gaffers tape with the semi-gloss, waxy looking texture. So this stuff is dead on to the original prop. I'll send you enough. I'll send you a full 2-inch strip so you'll have enough to do a couple of different tries in case you make a mistake. So basically what you're going to do is you'll remove your adapter, and you'll see here that the adapter has an inner ring or a hole in the center, and then it's shaped like the Gaffers tape with the groove, and then as it comes around, the groove disappears as the piece peels off and becomes curled on the edges. So you see here that it's got a curl to it. Let's see if I can get that. And then the curl flattens out and it has the groove. Okay. Another thing you're going to notice is that on the inside of it, there's a slight difference in inner diameter halfway down. The bottom half is a little tighter than the top half, and that's so it can fit down over the base of the neck and fit snugly, and then the top half of the base, or the top half of the emitter, will go down in and spin freely. So this will let you to have a rigid form that looks just like that loose tape and have the emitter be able to spin. So what you're going to do to start off with is you're going to take your tape. You can just leave it on this. I'm going to ship it on the baggie just like this, so that way it stays sticky. Take your adapter, if you want to line it up with the edge, mark it with a pencil, roll it mark it, you keep it on the edge, mark it with a pencil. Or if you want to just measure, I believe this is right at 15 millimeters. Let's check that. Again, 14.95, 15. So yeah, if you do 15 millimeters on the tape, maybe just a hair over if you want to make sure that the edge of the tape completely covers. Maybe make it 15.25, 15 and a quarter, something like that. Or you can just trace the width of the adapter. So do that, and then what you can do is, even just keeping it on the baggie, you don't need the baggie anymore. Cut out the tape, leave it on the baggie so that it's got the plastic backing to keep you from losing your sticky until you're ready. So anyway, you're going to prep your piece of tape. Don't worry about how long it is just yet. The next thing you're going to do is you can either apply it to the adapter first and then put the thing on, or you can go ahead and put it on the lightsaber and then wrap it. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it first. So we'll take the tape off. You can do this just by sticking the tape to it. I've already cleaned this with alcohol to get any wax or loose leftover resin so that it will adhere. If you find that it doesn't adhere, or if you would like a more permanent solution, feel free to put some super glue, a really thin layer of super glue all around this before sticking it on. What you're going to do is you're going to start just like this, and you're going to stick the edge of the tape inside that little slot, just like so. Try to get it all the way in there. Line it up with the edge so that it's even. And then press down to get it started. Then what you can do is take an X-Acto knife with the back edge and work it up inside there to really press that down snugly on the inside. All right, then get your tape and pull snugly and wrap the adapter and press in around the groove as you do so. I would actually even suggest maybe leaving it wrapped slightly loosely, that way you can stretch that groove in here in just a little bit, but you're going to go all the way around until you get to the curved part. You'll want to press your thumb into the center so that it forms to that inner curve. And then you can just take your scissors or an X-Acto knife, whatever you want to do, and cut that off. And there you have it. Okay, so now what we'll do is we're going to use this little hex key here in a little bit to remove the emitter. But what you can do is this same hex key that you use to remove the emitter is actually a perfect fit for this little groove here. So start here on the inside and work your hex key into that groove to put that impression in. And then as you get around, the impression is going to kind of slowly fade away as it simulates that it's pulling away from the neck. So just do that a couple times. If it gets a couple of wrinkles in there, even better, because the thing is pretty wonky. So even push in on the sides and work your way around. Get that impression really nice and detailed. And there you go. So you've got an impression of the ring, the neck, and then it comes apart, comes off of the neck, and it's got a curved edge to it. So there you go. All right, so now applying this, you're going to take your hex key. Before you do this, you're going to make note of the position and the orientation of the emitter, that way you don't forget which way it goes on. If you look at this top side of the emitter, you'll see a section that's got a few little dots. That part should be fairly lined up over one of your pins, and that's going to be the side that's closest to this. Let's call it a giraffe. There's his body and there's his long neck and his head. So that looks like a giraffe to me. That's the giraffe. So we've got these dots. The dots are going to line up with the giraffe. That's going to keep you from accidentally putting it over here on this side. All right, so we'll take our hex key and loosen this set screw. And we'll set that aside. Do the same thing with this one. Well, there's a reason I'm removing both of them. I'll show you that in just a second. You could just loosen them up and remove it, but there's a reason I'm doing this. Okay, now remove the emitter, and inside you should see the cylinder here. And what you can do is use those same holes and put those holes, line them up with the holes on the inside, go all the way through and all the way through to the other side of the emitter. And now you've got this piece locked to the inside, so you can grab the whole thing and unscrew it just like that. This process reversed will allow you to securely tighten that screw down. Probably already figured that out, but just in case, it's a nice neat little trick. So we're going to hold that, unscrew this, and just set this down. You don't even have to remove that because we're going to just reverse the steps here in just a second. Okay, so take your form or your adapter, and okay, so I see a couple pieces are peeling up, so you may want to go ahead and just maybe I didn't clean it good enough, but do it with some super glue. But what you'll notice is if you turn it this way, if it's loose. If you turn it this way, which is the correct way, it'll actually fit snug and snap down perfectly on there. And what you want to do is take your reference material and line that up so it looks like the edge of that tape lines up right in the valley of the brown wind vane area. So we're going to duplicate that here. I'll lose my phone. Okay, so it looks like it needs to come over to the left just a little bit. So we'll take that, scoot it right about there. Make sure it's press fit. So it fits right in the valley. Spend all the time you want getting exactly in the position that you want it. And now we're going to put our emitter right back on. So this piece has a wider inner diameter so that when you place this and screw it back in, you'll be able to screw it all the way down tightly, tightening this to the inside of the neck. As long as you keep this crossbar in here, you can grab this whole thing and tighten it down. Pull the pin out, and there you go. This whole thing spins very easily, but you've got this raised area that replicates the loose tape, but it's quite rigid. All right. Dropped my phone again. You don't have to do that step if you don't want. Okay, last step is to replace the emitter. So we're going to take the part that has the 2 dots, we're lining it up with our giraffe, and there's the hole. Okay, sorry about that. My phone died right as I was about to finish up. All I was going to say was, when you get done applying this, just put the emitter back together. Find the place that has the little dots. We're going to line that up with our giraffe and use the set screw to find that hole and get it started. Turn it around to the other side. Take your other set screw. Just get that one started. And then you can kind of jiggle this back and forth as you screw it in to make sure that you find that hole and that it's not pressing against the aluminum. There it is. And get that just level, maybe a little bit more. Spin the next one. Level it. There it is. All right, there's the finished product. Let me know what you guys think. I'll put a link below to my Etsy store. These shouldn't be just a few bucks. Ship them out to you, and it's a nice little detail. Makes it look like you got the loose tape on there, but it's really on there. Anyway, that was my idea. Let me know what you guys think.